Hey there, all you pro-gun bullies and magnum-packing patriots. This is the Tap Rack Bang Podcast, episode 13. I'm your host, Ryan Frasor. With me, as always, riding shotgun is the tactical tackle, Tyler Witzke. Welcome to the program, pal.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Hell, Pecker, yeah. We remind all our pro-gun bullies out there, if you want to do some pro-gun bully shit, you want to give David Chipman an old-fashioned atomic wedgie, hit that like button. If you want to give Chuck Schumer a sloppy wet willy, go ahead and subscribe. And to give sleepy Joe Biden just a gnarly old swirly, go ahead and ring that Liberty bell, sound the alarm of freedom every time a Tap Rack Bang podcast drops.
Right. And don't forget, link in the description, get these cool ass stickers.
What's that cost, Tyler? About $50, $200?
$0.
$0?
Free 99.
What? No
Free
Bitcoins
99.
or nothing?
Nothing.
I'm saying.
So click the link down in the description, get your sticker.
Do it.
Do it.
Yeah. All right. We got a great show today. We got who's on the show?
Yeah, so we got State Rep Jonathon Hill from South Carolina here.
Verified pro-gun bully in his own right.
50 caliber Freedom Award winner.
That's no joke.
So he'll be detailing basically what went down with constitutional carry in South Carolina this year and what we can do to fight back next year.
Yeah.
So
and back by popular demand, we're playing Blind Man's Blaster yet again. We got the lead firearms instructor for the National Association for Gun Rights, Mr. Eric Jones, playing again. We're going to see if we can stump him this time, trying to identify some common firearms with a blindfold on.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun doing it. All right. Last week for T-shirt time.
It's T-shirt time!
We asked you, what was the shortest lived main service rifle for the United States military? And an old friend of the show, Randy Bounds, who has won T-shirt time already, man, he's knocking him out of the park. He went and won it again. It's the M14, had the shortest tenure as a standard issue rifle for the U.S. military. This week for T-shirt time, we're going to stick to talking about the M14, and I want to know, what firearm did the M14 beat out in the trials to become the standard issue rifle for the U.S. military? If you think you know without Googling, honor system here, comment below. First one to comment in the YouTube comments correctly will win a dope-ass, don't hold my hand, National Association for Gun Rights t-shirt. So comment below. All right, let's hop into the bullet points and discuss what is the current events of gun rights today.
Theme of the show is that we're effing pissed.
We're effing pissed.
We got 3 FN firearms here because we are effing pissed.
We're effing pissed at the Louisiana state government, who acted like a bunch of baby back bitches and failed to override Governor Edwards' veto of constitutional carry.
Yeah. So they went to veto override session. Tuesday was the first day, and constitutional carry was second or third bill brought up, and this was in the state Senate. 3 spineless Republicans, and 1 Democrat changed their votes.
They voted right the first time, but the Gun Control Inc. got to them.
Yep.
Apparently their votes are for sale, and they flipped their votes, and this time around opposed constitutional carry.
Yep.
It's pathetic.
Keep in mind, we had 1 no-show from a Republican
one no-show
as well.
These jackasses worked for like 3 months out of the freaking year, and he couldn't make it for one of the most important votes in the entire state this year.
Yep.
Unexcusable. Believe you me, those politicians have something coming. Stay tuned for future episodes where we have a little fun with the Louisiana senators who bailed on their law-abiding, gun-owning constituents.
Exactly.
All right, but before we get too pissed off, let's move on from Louisiana and talk about some legal stuff, Tyler.
Yeah, so again, like he said, stay tuned. We're going to have some exciting stuff coming to the podcast. But the National Foundation for Gun Rights, NAGR's legal arm, in conjunction with NAGR, actually filed an amicus brief for the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Kevin Bruin, who is the respondent of this case. So we'll have more details about that later, but this is essentially about the whether or not you're allowed to carry a pistol concealed outside of your home.
Yeah. The simple concept that, the Second Amendment applies not just in your home.
Right.
Seems like a no shit concept, but in this day and age, we actually have to pay lawyers to make sure that happens.
Yep.
And which is exactly what we're doing. We're getting involved legally. We're taking these sumbitches to court, and we're hoping to kick some ass and expand gun rights to some New Yorkers.
Yeah, so the Supreme Court has already agreed to hear this case, so
yeah,
we're very excited to await the outcome, but stay tuned. If you want to help out the foundation, go to gunrightsfoundation.org. Help them out.
Yes, sir. What else you got there?
I think we're going on to Blind Man's Blaster next.
Actually, I think we're going to talk to Jonathon Hill first. Yeah. So, as we said before, bona fide pro-gun bully and Magnum packing patriot 50 caliber Freedom Award winner Jonathon Hill joined us, and we talked about the fight for constitutional carry in South Carolina. I hope you enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest today is Representative Jonathon Hill from South Carolina's 8th House District. He is the winner of the 50 caliber Freedom Award and is a bona fide pro-gun bully who has been the loudest voice for constitutional carry and your Second Amendment rights within the walls of government in South Carolina. Thank you for joining us today, Jonathon.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Good to be here.
Getting right into it. First question, more of a summary we would ask of you. Give us a rundown.
When did you need that rundown by?
For viewers and listeners who don't know what's going on or what went down in South Carolina this this past spring in the legislative session with constitutional carry.
Yeah, so this past year with constitutional carry was really kind of the culmination of years worth of effort. But we've been forcing the issue, forcing the legislature to vote on the issue, signaling we're not going to stop, we're not going to go away, we're not going to quit until this happens. And as a result, sometimes along the way you don't quite get what you're wanting, but maybe some other things happen that, one of those examples would be this year the state legislature passed an open carry bill. So open carry is now legal in South Carolina. Unfortunately, there was a bunch of bad crap gun control stuff added into the bill, so that's going to keep some people busy for a while in the future. But basically that was something that the legislature did, so with or without us they were bound and determined to do that. And so we're coming back next year. We're demanding constitutional carry. There is still a bill in play potentially. There is a constitutional carry bill that passed the House in April of this year, went over to the Senate. The Senate so far has ignored it. But, we'll see. We may be able to convince our colleagues over there to actually do the right thing and do something conservative for a change, take up the bill.
Sounds good. So, as you know, we're currently fighting for constitutional carry in Louisiana still, and we've actually seen Democrats who are voting for the bill. Why was it so hard this year to get Republicans to hop on board constitutional carry in South Carolina?
Well, it's kind of unbelievable that in a state like South Carolina where gun rights are so important, and in a state where you have overwhelming Republican majorities in the House, in the Senate, you have a Republican governor who's been saying since 2017 that he's going to sign the bill the moment it comes to his desk, and we can't seem to get the bill out. And so a lot of that comes back to House and Senate leadership, the people that are in charge of the committees, the Speaker of the House, and so forth, don't want this bill to pass. They're not conservatives. Now, interestingly enough, you mentioned Democrats voting for the bill because we actually had that in South Carolina this year as well. There were no less than 3 separate votes in the House, a March vote, an April vote, and a May vote. And in the May vote, you had, 20-something, I think, Democrats actually flip and actually vote for constitutional carry, the constitutional carry amendment that I filed on the open carry bill. So that would have kept it in play a little longer. Mm-hmm. And, you can say what you want about anyone's motivations. I think the ultimate answer to your question is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter why they voted. What matters is how they voted.
Yes, sir.
Because the votes count.
Absolutely.
Right. So, as you know, NAGR and Palmetto Gun Rights, our state affiliate, have been active in South Carolina pushing constitutional carry. So, give a little compare-contrast of the tactics we use versus the mainstream gun lobby, who seems pretty much non-existent in South Carolina.
Well, you guys definitely have the reputation of being the no-compromise gun lobby, and I can tell you from the inside perspective of working inside the legislature with you guys on the outside, that has certainly been true. the staff at PGR and here at NAGR, have been very courageous and willing to pick a fight, stick to it, drive a hard bargain, and that's what you have to do. One thing that's so frustrating to me is when Republican leaders and Republican lawmakers and Republican activists and outside organizations such as the NRA, it's like they think somehow by asking for half of an apple you can actually get a whole apple. And that's not even common sense. That's just straight up bad bargaining. It's bad negotiating. It's not good politics, and it's definitely not principled.
Right.
Definitely. So after 2020, do you see that South Carolina's closer to getting constitutional carry, and what's on the horizon for 2021?
Well,
2022.
Yeah, this is 2021. 2022, I think that the way these things go, sometimes it takes a few election cycles, and I've always reminded people that sometimes forcing a vote that you're going to lose is on the path to winning.
Absolutely.
Now, this was actually the first year that we really thought that if we force the vote, we've got a good shot at actually passing it, both the House and the Senate. But you don't actually know what's going to happen until it happens, obviously. Mm-hmm. And so what's happened is I mentioned 3 separate votes in the House. There was a vote in the Senate as well, so 4 votes all total this year. And what's raw and what's fresh on everyone's mind in South Carolina is that our Republicans, we gave them a supermajority in the House and the Senate, filibuster-proof majorities in both chambers. You can't blame this on Democrats anymore. You better give us something, or you're not going to have this power anymore.
That's right.
And I really think that South Carolina's at a crossroads right now. And if you care about your gun rights and you live in South Carolina, or if you care about your gun rights and you don't live in South Carolina, because I'm telling you what happens in our state will affect you in other states, help us out.
You bet. Definitely. So I know you and other constitutional carry sponsors all across the nation are known as kind of troublemakers, but how does the establishment, say Republicans or leadership, actually regard you after this fight?
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say, if you ask any of my colleagues in the House of Representatives in South Carolina, that I am the most hated member in the entire 124-member state House. I don't think it's even a close call.
Right.
Funny little anecdote. A few years ago, I had a Democrat colleague who's no longer there anymore. He retired, but he came up to me one day and said, "Jonathan, your head is as hard as anthracite coal."
That's awesome.
And then he had to go and explain, anthracite coal, there's 3 types of coal. That's the hardest form there is.
Right.
It's basically rock.
Yeah.
I think that, stubbornness, tenacity, perseverance, those are all things that we see that kind of define the radical left when they're fighting for what they believe in.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And compromise and bad judgment and a willingness to give up and go home and consider your work done is what has defined the conservative movements. And that mentality has just got to go.
Absolutely. And we definitely love politicians that don't go to office to make friends. They're there to get something done. We definitely see that out of you year after year. And keeping with that same concept, why don't you go ahead and dime out some of the weak-kneed Republicans? We want you to drop names. We call it shooting blanks on this show. So give us a few names of who our viewers should be mad at in South Carolina.
Well, one in particular you should know about is because there's a little history here. So in 2017 was probably the first straight-up vote on the policy that I was able to help force on constitutional carry. It was a motion to recall the bill out of committee, where the chairman had been killing it. And a fellow out in that represented part of the Myrtle Beach area, Representative Greg Duckworth, voted against the bill.
Quack, 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 Mr. Ducksworth.
There were only 20 Republicans voting with me to pull the bill out. He was one that voted against. And in 2018, he lost his primary by less than 100 votes. He was replaced by William Bailey. Now, William Bailey filled out Palmetto Gun Rights survey, 100%, came in telling everybody, including me personally to my face, so, I'm going to be there for constitutional carry. You just tell me what you need, going to do it.
Awesome.
3 years later, the guy is literally doing what he wants, thumbing his nose at every gun owner in South Carolina, every gun owner in his district, showing the mail that went out and talking about how you guys lied about him and whatever. And, he's a pledge breaker. I mean, I honestly, I believe that discipline has to begin at home.
Yes, sir.
And if you go into office with a mandate to pass constitutional carry, and you raise your right hand and you swear an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States, which, by the way, includes the Second Amendment, and the Constitution of this state, which South Carolina has their own language similar to the Second Amendment in our state constitution, you raise your right hand, you swear that oath, and then you go out and you act like it means nothing. It means nothing at all. You better believe there's going to be consequences for that. There have to be consequences for that.
Absolutely.
He was one really big surprise. I did not expect him to do that. There were some others, one from my local area. Quite honestly, there are about 6 or 7 other reps that represent parts of the same county that I live in, and every single one of them, to a person, voted against constitutional carry in May after voting for it in April.
Wow.
So they voted for it in April, voted against it in May, and 2 individuals, Representative Gagnon and Representative Thayer, have always had good voting records in the past, and I was just very surprised and disappointed that they broke their good streak in May. So, ultimately, I think we do have, even if it doesn't feel like we have government of the people, for the people, and by the people, what's still true in America today is that the people are the highest authority in America.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
They are. And so, every single one of us that run for office and get elected, we answer to you. And, you have to exercise that at some point, and it's your call. Should people like this go back into office or not?
Right. That's a great point.
Yeah.
So we're going to shift gears here a little bit. We have a segment on the show called Inside the Waistband, kind of quirky. But we want to ask you, what's inside your waistband? What are you carrying nowadays?
A little bit of money. Not much.
Not much?
No, in all seriousness, I have a Springfield XD 45 Slim.
Nice.
Sweet.
I wanted the biggest bullet I could possibly
Big
put
holes
in
and
a
bad guys.
concealable weapon. I'm not a big guy, as you can
Right.
see. So if a big guy is coming towards me to do me harm, I want to put a big bullet in him. So that's what I picked.
Outstanding. Well, that just about does it for our interview, but we thank you, Representative Hill, for joining us today, and we appreciate your continued fight to bring constitutional carry and everything liberty to the state of South Carolina. Thank you.
Well, I want to tell you guys and every gun owner out there that watches this podcast episode, a lot of times we think that our elected officials are going to go to the Capitol and solve everything for us, and I can tell you firsthand, can't do it without you. I need you much more than you need me. So thank you guys for being there and helping us bring the fight.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great stuff from Representative Hill of South Carolina. We are looking forward to kicking some ass in the Palmetto State in the coming years. But now it's time to have some fun, Tyler.
Yeah.
We got Eric Jones back on the show playing the hottest new game show, sweeping the firearms industry and the pro-gun community. We played a little Blind Man's Blaster. Let's check it out.
Let's check it out.
This is Blind Man's Blaster, the firearms game show that is sweeping the nation. Our returning champion is Mr. Eric Jones, the lead firearms instructor for the National Association for Gun Rights and president of his local Justin Bieber fan club. Welcome back to the program, Mr. Jones.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate your attempt to destroy what little credibility I have left.
Glad to do it. Tyler, why don't you tell the folks watching back home how we play?
All right. We got some guns on the table. You will judge each and every single one of them based on ergonomics, trigger, and just feel in your hand on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. And then once we're done with that, we'll keep you blindfolded, and we'll have you guess which each gun is.
Okay.
And can you confirm to our viewers that you cannot see these guns and you haven't been tipped off of what you're about to grab?
I cannot. These are not my real eyes, and I cannot see out the bottom.
All right, let's play our game. Starting with gun number 1 is in your hand right now. We can confirm to our viewers that every gun is safety checked and he will be pointing it in a safe direction at all times.
I just muzzled my own hand. Okay, so we've got some double stacks here.
That's right.
Boy, that's a mystery. All right, so ergonomics. I like the way the grip feels. The magazine doesn't really add any length to the grip, but I can get my whole hand on the grip. Controls feels ambidextrous. Let's see here. We have a slide release on the other side, so they're taking care of us lefties. I like that.
Nice.
I don't feel any manual safety, which I'm a fan of no manual safety. So let me dry fire this gun. Okay. Ooh, that might have given it away. Check the reset. Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
So what would you rate it on trigger, feels, and ergonomics?
So I like it all. The grip. Again, I like the bigger double stack type grips. I'm going to give a 4 out of 5. I love the fact that they catered to us lefties here. Give that a 5 out of 5. And I really like the trigger. For a defensive handgun, I'm gonna give that trigger. Can I give it a 4.5?
Sure.
4.5.
We're making it up as we go.
Okay, so yeah, I like that.
Cool.
Alrighty, that's gun number 1. Go ahead and grab a feel of number 2.
Wow, this is gonna be harder than last week. Okay, she said. I think I know what that is. I just double check everything anyway.
Good policy.
Okay, so no serrations. Ooh, if that's a Glock, it's a newer Glock because they put some stuff on the other side. I feel a safety on the trigger. Like the grip. Like the fact that it has ergos on both sides. Again, no manual safety. I'm going to dry fire it. I'm going to take the mag. All right, so I'm pretty sure I know what this is. I'm going to give this a 4 on the grip, a 4 on ergo, because I do like the fact that it is ambidextrous. I'd have to move the...
You gave a 5 to the first gun for controls for being ambidextrous.
Yeah, but I like the way that one feels better. It's a little easier to hit. I don't use the slide release when I operate a gun anyway.
Sure.
I use... gross motor skills and just rock the slide. But yeah, I'm going to give this a 4 on the grip. I'm going to give it a 4 on the controls, and I'm going to give it a 3 on the trigger.
Okay.
And let's put that mag back in. I'll let you handle that. Okay.
Gun numero trace.
Wow. Double wow. Boy, this is tough. All right, so ergonomics. I thought I felt a grip safety for a second, but I didn't. Again, I think it's ambidextrous. Boy, they're all feeling the same. Again, probably a 3 on the grip. I don't like this bulge on the pack strap right here.
He doesn't like the bulge.
No, anti-bulge. And the controls are decent and ambi, and I don't feel that dreaded manual safety. I don't feel a trigger safety either. So I'm going to go 3 on the grip, 4 on the controls. That's interesting. I'm going to give that trigger a 3.5.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay?
Okay. All right. Gun number 4, right in front of you.
This is tough, guys.
Well, you did so good the last time. We wanted to mix it up a little bit. We added another gun and threw in some obscure options for you.
Okay, I'm not going to worry about guessing what it is yet. I like that grip. I'm going to give the grip a, feels a little thinner than the other ones. I'm going to give that grip a 3.5.
Okay.
There is ambi controls. No manual safety.
Got love for the lefties today.
Again, I'm liking the controls on all of them. I'm going to give that a 4. And let's check out this bang switch. Interesting. So I like the trigger pull, but the reset is ambiguous. I'm not exactly sure. I almost short stroked it. I know you're going to comment on that.
Hey now.
All right, so I'm going to go. It's a little thinner grip. I'm going to give the grip a 3. I'm going to give the controls back to that 4 because, again, we're happy with the lefties today. The trigger, I love the pull, but I hate the reset. So for that, I'm going to give it a 3.
Fair enough.
Okay?
All right.
So, if you were forced to choose based on what you just felt, which gun would you want to carry?
Well, since I've been accused of being the Glock fanboy, and I know that I know there was a Glock 19 in there. I think it was a Gen 5. I'd probably pick that, but I'm a big fan of the SIG 320, and I think there was one of those on the table. Maybe that first one I picked up. So I'd probably choose the Glock, but I'm in the market for one of those SIGs anyway. So I'm going to say the SIG.
We're saying the SIG. Okay. So now, the ultimate challenge. Can you identify each gun? We'll start you off with gun number 1.
Then we're going to go in the same order, right?
Go in the same order. No curveballs here, Dave.
All right, I'm going to say that is. I'm going to say that's the SIG.
SIG.
520? SIG.
I don't even think that's a model.
P320.
P320.
There you go.
Alright.
But there's another one that feels a lot like that too.
Alright, so
okay.
number 2 you seem to identify right away.
That's a Glock 19, but it's a Gen 5 because it has some things over here. I'm a big fan of the Glock. So that's my guess there.
Alright.
Gen 5.
Number 3. What do you think number 3 is?
This is the one. It's got this huge, kind of almost like a beaver tail back here.
You need a lifeline?
Yes.
Consider who you're standing next to.
On my right,
I don't know.
so it's a Smith & Wesson Shield, or it's a
Huge
Smith.
shield.
It's a Smith & Wesson M&P, full-size Smith & Wesson.
We'll just have to see.
To see.
Try.
And number 4. What did you think number 4 was? Are you going back?
Number 3.
I think number 3 is a Canic. Yeah.
Which one?
The Turkish one.
What model do you think it
I
is?
don't know. The one that you carry all the time with the big old grip that sticks out.
All right.
I'm going to
We'll
say
see.
Canic, and your lifeline helped. So.
We'll see.
I thought it might.
Okay.
All right.
right.
Last one. This one might be an oddball for you as well.
Jeez, that's nothing to do with this.
This is another concealed carry handgun, some sort of striker fired. That's all. I'm going to say this is another SIG, but I don't know what model.
Okay.
All right, let's see what kind of fool I made.
Well,
of
folks,
myself.
why don't you take off the blindfold and see how you did.
This was a lot tougher than those single stacks.
So, number 1, SIG 320, you nailed it.
Boom!
Number 2 took you about a half a second to identify a Gen 5 Glock 19. You even got the generation correct, which is impressive.
Number 3.
And with the help of a lifeline, you found
Yeah.
Witzke's Canic
TP9 SF Elite.
SF Elite.
I like those.
And sexy green. For the money, I tell you.
Number 4.
That was a guess, a lucky guess.
A 3 for a loop.
That's the 320X, so you got the different grip, different trigger, and the fancy sights on there, but still a 320 nonetheless.
And for the record, this is the one that I'm thinking about moving from the Glock to.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of
You
this.
seem to not be too crazy about the reset, at least, on this experience.
I did, huh?
Yeah.
So again, something you'd have to take it out and shoot and see how
Definitely.
that transferred to actual
Right.
shooting on the range. But
Sure.
So,
wow.
Yeah. What do you have to say about anyone considering any sort of these 4 firearms?
I've had every one of these guns go through my classes numerous times. Every one of these guns is reliable. It's going to go bang when you pull the trigger. I would recommend any of these guns to anybody for concealed carry. They're all right down what I would recommend.
Awesome.
Outstanding. Well, thanks for playing again. I think once again you killed it. Even when we threw a couple curveballs, you were able to figure it out, and I'm really impressed that you're able to even identify the generation of the Glock in there.
Which is the one that I didn't like
That one.
That's,
Yeah, didn't
but
like the
that's
grip there.
replaceable, right? You can put a different
Yeah.
backstrap on that.
Yep. That's correct.
So that would even be something we
There you
could
go.
remedy.
But that is not the one I carry every day with the big old
No,
grip on it.
the one you bang into walls as you walk around. So yeah, all of these are great guns.
You bet.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right, folks, that does it for Blind Man's Blaster.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
All right, well, that just about does it for us today. Great stuff from Eric Jones there and Blind Man's Blaster.
You
He
bet.
did amazing this time.
Crushed it.
Crushed it. So, before we end the video, please go to nationalgunrights.org, link down in the description. If you want to help out our foundation with our amicus brief to the Supreme Court, please visit gunrightsfoundation.org. And also, don't forget to get your sticker. Link down in the description again. They're
Booyah.
free.
Yeah, and stay tuned for upcoming podcasts. We're going to go in depth with all our legal ass kickings that we're involved in, and we're going to go more in depth about the catastrophe that went down in Baton Rouge this week. So hit the Liberty Bell so you're alerted when we drop our next podcast.
Yep. And don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Check out the podcast, Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, etc.
Booyah.
That'll do it.
See ya.
I can feel you, dude.
Here, bend over and smell this.